and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James Shea, alongside Kaliko Yachts.
See, sounds like you the one getting sick now.
No, I just too much breath came out of my mouth.
I'm back, mother. Not even a cold could kill me.
Oh yeah. It was a good week for Wrestling With, as we interviewed CJ Evans on Monday, Alvin Gray on Tuesday, and Matt Sparkle on Wednesday. Three incredible, unique interviews, all three of them. Definitely go and check them out in the archives if you haven't already. Always looking towards the future. This Tuesday we have Nano Lopez from Spain, currently wrestling in Poland. We talk about that, starting in the pandemic era, having his first match in Spain, a rivalry with Sinister, wrestling Matt Sydal, Evan Bourne, and a hell of a lot more. Definitely a fun and unique interview, to say the least. And then on Wednesday we go back to the Philippines with Ken Cypher, Puso Pro Wrestling, DexCon. You know it, you love it. We talk about that, winning the Chili Willy Cup, his relationship with Fabio McKissick and Robin Sane, being a production manager, some heartfelt and very transparent moments in his career as when it comes to winning championships, his tag team partners, and the story behind those things. It's definitely a very heartfelt interview, I would say. Ken is very transparent, and he tells his story. I cannot recommend that enough. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now.
Biggest obsession of the big players is to go after the title, right? So yeah, I'm actually involved in a storyline right now that I made a promise in July last year that I have 365 days to become a champion. And I will not let this promise to fall into empty hands. And yeah, we are in June, so the clock is ticking, and we will see. But obviously, that's the chance. That's the challenge right now, to get a championship, to get a title belt.
Always ready to get it too.
We'll see how it goes.
The news.
And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are less than a month at this point to get that done. For the first time in
I have until technically have until July 31st or 30th. I don't know. So yeah, almost a month. Yeah, you're almost right. So yeah, we'll see how that works.
SmackDown, defeating Zelina Vega. Maybe by the time you're listening to this, he might have some gold around his waist.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be great.
One of the guys asked me, can we have leftover chicken over there? So, can I have them? Yeah, sure. I think everyone's done eating, so. Alright.
Yeah,
we have the chicken. Went to the corner. Because eating the chicken, and someone asked me, Ken, there's one more chicken, can I get that? Okay, sure, yeah, go ahead. A couple of minutes after, Coach Fabio asked me, Ken, do we still have food?
I like Zelina, but
so the other leftover chicken was actually for Coach Fabio, but you think we still have those vegan wraps, so ask him to get those instead. Yeah. Thank God he didn't kick me in the head.
Don't like the guy that ate his chicken.
Well, Zelina never really got a chance to jump the champion, right? Like, at least with Chelsea got to run with it. Like, Chelsea won and they let her run with it. And I think that's such a high standard, because keep in mind, she had it. She was, as she says, she's the first and the longest reigning women's United States champion. with reason, because she was over and she got anything over, but she was willing to do anything to get it over. Zelina winning, it was a good experience, a shock experience. I just think they didn't give her leeway to run like they did with Chelsea. But then again, Chelsea had to trust because she was kind of over without it, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because they put her in everything. See what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard when Chelsea had the opportunity to develop as a character. And as a wrestler.
No, you're absolutely right. I know, like I said, no disrespect to Zelina Vega, but it's kind of hard to run when you don't know how to run. Like, Chelsea knows who she is inside and outside of the ring, and it got her over. She could, Zelina could have, banger matches, and I'm sorry, she didn't have too many banger matches during her run. But that's not going to get you over. The personality is going to get you over.
Right, but keep in mind, her personality was tied to LWO for so long. So even if they, quote unquote, broke her away from it, they didn't give her anything to define her other than the girl in LWO. Right.
Right.
Kind of like B-Fab. Everybody knows B-Fab, but people know more B-Fab with Hit Row than they do with her just being B-Fab. You got to give them the opportunity to at least state their purpose of why they're there, or state their reason of why they're there. Now, they did a lot of that behind the scenes, which I mean, because they did the whole thing where she took the United States title to the 9/11 museum and the whole thing with her dad, which I wish they had highlighted it more so, because I think that would have been a better reason to put her as a fighting champion, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a better purpose. Like, oh man, using her dad, losing her dad as a motivation to be a best representation for the United States. That would have been, who would have went against that? And then doing like a mini open challenge, just being a fighting champion.
But the thing about her is, I don't think people turned on her. I don't think people hated her or anything. It was just, when she came out, it was kind of more meh than yay or boo.
Well, one, that's because Julia is more. I ain't gonna say Zelina's not more known, but I think Julia has that reach because Japan, she's wrestling everywhere, so they know of her, right? So she kind of got that hero's welcome, but that's not even my point, because I don't think it's more about Julia. I mean, more about Zelina as a wrestler. I just think they didn't let her. I didn't think they gave her a bigger platform to show Zelina the person.
I would agree with that.
Or Zelina the wrestler. Like, beyond LWO, I am X beyond LWO. And that's what I mean. And that's not something, I put that more on the company, because if you're going to give her the title, you can't give her the title to expect it to make her, when she's probably willing to do the things. It's just, you have to let her run with it, or succeed or fail with it. I think she would have been okay with doing everything had she succeeded or failed with it.
Right. And
but if you don't give her the opportunity, it's kind of a wash.
And I mean, going up against people like, Chelsea Green, who is, bursting with personality, and you haven't necessarily had a chance to show your personality, that doesn't do her any favors as well. And I mean, that's not Amber. That's, on
Exactly. Right, because Chelsea had the opportunity to be seen as a wrestler, that she's been able to see all facets of her, right? The conniving Chelsea, the funny Chelsea, the comedy Chelsea, the Chelsea that makes anything work. But they gave her the opportunity to succeed or fail with it, and that's what I was meaning. Like, and then that's no knock on Chelsea, because I mean, hell, she took the chances and she ran with it. I just think if you're gonna have these titles, you need to highlight the characters of these, highlight the purposes of these wrestlers and why they're going in the direction that they're going.
Right.
Like a connection. Because not everybody's going to have that connection or get the time to have that connection. You see what I'm saying? Like, people are on Naomi's side because Naomi's been wrestling so long and she's been so used to just rolling with the punches that they're like, shit, she's just due. You see what I'm saying?
But there's definitely a couple of sides. There's layers to Naomi because she is grandfathered in at this point. But
yeah, she's grandfathered in. But that's my point. Like,
and
but
it's not
she's
lost
never.
That she is doing the best shit that she's done in her whole career right now.
Yeah, this is the best shit that she's done in her career. But keep in mind, she's a 2-time champion, and we're saying that's the best shit that she's ever done in her career.
Right.
Which is good. Which I'm not saying that's bad, but what I'm just saying is that this is a Naomi we should have been seeing years ago. If that makes sense.
No, I do. Now from connection with the crowd, this next person definitely has a connection with the crowd. It's spotty like bad Wi-Fi though. And that is a one CM Punk. He has been in the news for the last couple of weeks or so, for one reason or the other, and it's definitely not because, he's the best in the world. First and foremost, years ago he told The Miz, choke on a, what was this quote here? Suck on a blood-covered dick, because The Miz went to Saudi Arabia to perform. And now CM Punk is performing in Saudi Arabia. I never necessarily held that against him, but, obviously people feel the need to hold him accountable. As that was kind of dying down, I think it was 2 days ago, Thursday, they landed in Saudi Arabia. I don't exactly know where this clip was taken, but a little kid was running up to CM Punk, and depending on who you ask, CM Punk shoved the kid out of the way. Which then proceeded to him going to the kickoff show, like a press conference thing, the crowd booing him and asking him to apologize for the comments he made about Saudi Arabia, which he obliged. So, CM Punk, still the lightning rod of controversy that he's always has been, for whether it's warranted or not. Him wrestling in Saudi Arabia doesn't necessarily bother me, considering, even though he made the comments, I mean, it was a while ago, and money talks and bullshit walks. So, you don't know what you're going to do until that money is presented to you. And, obviously Punk took the money. I'm not mad at a wrestler getting a payday. But what say you, Kaliko?
So people, are they going to go after Sami Zayn? Because Sami Zayn is wrestling in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, he's the one that brought peace between Syria and Saudi Arabia, so he's recognized as a hero. Because they made a peace treaty with Syria to bring Sami Zayn to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but my point is he took a stance. My point is that overall point is that people's opinions evolve over time, and we can't pigeonhole someone to a stance that they took 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, or 30 years ago, because at that time, what we have to just see is, have they progressed from the time they made that comment to now? We can't determine the reason, but all you can care is about whether the progress was made, right? I think we spend so much time trying to make sure everyone is so genuine in their responses when they're humans just like us. I mean, they're humans just like us. We make stupid decisions, we make stupid comments, we make crazy mistakes, and the opportunity to atone for it, which he did, that's all you could ask for. I mean, raking coals, I mean, everyone has the opinion to change their mind.
Did you see
on anything.
Did you see the video of him shoving the kid?
No, I have not, but I can look that up. I'm going to look it up right now while we're talking about it. But I mean,
there's a few. There's two versions. There's a more longer version and a shorter version. The shorter version looks like he actually does shove the kid, but the longer version, you can kind of see that the security guard is kind of coming in between the two of them, and I don't want to say he's just putting his hand on the kid. He's not, actively.
He didn't push the kid.
Yeah,
he didn't push him. Now, okay, they need to define push, bro. Because a push is, I'm thinking like stiff arm, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Like ran the kid over.
Like Braun Breaker spearing somebody from the aisleway.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they just had somewhere to go. And I get it, because here's the other issue that people keep saying. He's a kid. Everybody can say, yes, he's just a kid. A human being would not know the intention of any human being, whether it's good or bad. So I just...
Are you saying that CM Punk might have thought that this kid was going to shank him?
You don't know what anybody's going to do, but that's the Marine in me. Bro, I was overseas. I'm going to let real talk. I was overseas and in Middle East. They're like, oh, yeah, little kids. So I was like, yeah, you better watch out. And I'm looking like, all right, cool. So, I mean, I can understand apprehensiveness. Would I have done that? I mean, no, because I mean, kids are innocent. Most of the time, they're just happy to see somebody. I don't think he shoved them. I think he was just like, how they make it. I don't even see this as a shove. I just look at, hey, back up. I'm trying to get somewhere. Because most of the time, especially there, they're trying to get somewhere.
And you could see clearly that they're men on the mission. They're going somewhere.
They're on the move. Because I'm going to put it like this. Randy Orton is right there. And of all people who would stop, Randy Orton would stop.
Especially in this time and place in his career as well.
That's what I'm saying. So it's yeah, dude. I mean, oh God, they just... And the security dude was coming up because he was just like, hey, hold up, you just can't roll up on him like that. We're kind of on the roll. So I could see that. We make a mountain out of a molehill. I mean, y'all made it sound like he just claymored the kid.
Yeah, more or less.
That's what I was thinking when I heard shove. Like, I'm trying to think. Who shoved my kid? Nobody's ever shoved my kid, but I shoved my kid. That was more like, hey, back up, give me a little space. I'm kind of going somewhere. I'm in the middle of something.
Right. It's just fans trying to find a reason to hate CM Punk.
I just think it's everyone's just trying to find a reason. You can hold two thoughts at one time, sir. I mean, is it a dick move? That's up for Punk and the kid to decide. Is it a shove? Nah. I mean, I could see the optics, but it wasn't like what I thought it was.
Right.
I thought he Goldberged the kid or something. Y'all made it sound like he Goldberged the motherfucker. I was like, okay.
I mean, could he have taken a moment just to say hi to the kid? Yeah, he could have. And that's a dick
He
move.
could. It would have been two seconds to bend down and whatever.
Yeah.
So I get it.
But
I get it. A couple seconds just to get it out the way.
Right. But
yeah, I get it. I understand.
And that's personally that's the dick move. But what he did not push the kid.
Oh no, he didn't push the kid. I'm thinking he fucking stiff armed him like Adrian Peterson or some shit. I'm thinking that's what I thought. I thought he hit that whole stiff arm on that hoe.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. I thought he
like I said, mountain out of a molehill. It's just, it could have been handled betterly. It could have not just been recorded as well. But hey, it is what it is. Punk has always been a polarizing figure. If you like him, you like him. If you hate him, you hate him. And
if you like him, and this has come from someone who hated Punk at one point. So I'm not even. It's love-hate with me and him. But I mean, I could call a spade, right?
Right. Maybe a spade, maybe a clubs. Who knows? Chad Gable is unfortunately going for shoulder surgery, which is definitely a really bad thing considering how over he is right now with El Grande Americano and obviously he was at the AAA show, he was in Money in the Bank, he was on a bit of a run, I would say. But
he had a busy calendar.
yeah. So I mean, it kind of sucks because this could really derail him. But I feel like even though he's gonna be out, I feel like he could still come back from it and get that momentum back. It's just, bad timing on I don't want to say his part. Nobody wants to get injured. But there is rumor and innuendo that El Grande Americano will continue wrestling as Chad Gable is injured. But obviously
because they're not the same person, sir. What are we talking about?
Right.
They're two different people, so of course El Grande Americano is going to keep wrestling.
That being said, how would you feel if El Grande Americano continued without the tutelage of Master Gable?
I mean, he wasn't under the tutelage, he was just adjacent. American-made adjacent.
Honestly, I think it would be hilarious if he did actually continue wrestling, even with Chad Gable, on the shelf. Some people, confuse the two. So, I mean, with Chad Gable out, there's not going to be any, apprehension there. He's Chad Gable, and he's that injured, and El Grande Americano is obviously somebody different that is not injured. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Just again, it really sucks that Chad is injured because he's one.
Yeah, Chad is injured,
but
El Grande Americano is gonna represent, son.
Like he does.
Always does.
keeping on WWE news, UFC Michael Chandler apparently had a conversation with
Michael Chandler?
Chandler?
Chandler. Michael Chandler.
Yeah. Apparently he had a conversation with Triple H about potentially making a move to WWE and transitioning. I know nothing about UFC. I could not tell you
Who the hell
Chandler
Michael Chandler is?
from Chandler Bing.
God.
So, Kaliko,
God.
the floor is yours.
Are you kidding me? You don't know who Michael Chandler is?
I do not.
Oh my God. Okay, so Michael Chandler, most people know him because he was a very prominent mixed martial artist. He had just got to the UFC. He probably fought like a handful of fights. The most thing he's big, probably the biggest thing he's known for is for the fight that never happened. Because he was slated to fight Conor McGregor, and for some odd reason, Conor McGregor just right.
He was being Conor McGregor, is what you're saying.
Conor was being Conor, and it just never happened. And what made it worse is they did a whole UFC Tough Enough, it's the same thing, Tough Enough.
The Ultimate Fighter.
Like a UFC Ultimate Fighter between the two, and they still never got the fight because it usually culminates with the coaches fight. That never happened. He did fight Dustin Poirier, took an L. He took a couple L's since he got to the UFC. He's a really known. He was a champion in other leagues. UFC, I think, kind of got the better of him, but then again, he's on the back end of his career, so that makes sense why he would be heading to, why he would be heading to WWE, because the UFC, I think he's had about 4 or 5 fights, so I think he's about up. I mean, he's not up, and if it's UFC TKO crossover, my only issue is he's 39, and to start at 39 is a push. It wasn't like Rousey, because Rousey had the jiu-jitsu. I mean, Chandler's a wrestler, so wrestling is going to be in there. But the thing is that are they going to highlight that wrestling, or are they just going to make him bump like crazy? Because I think even if he signs, you're thinking 3 years before he even gets in there, before he actually has a WWE match. Depending, I give it. So that's the biggest part of it. But I mean, if he's willing to give it a shot, go ahead and give him a shot.
I mean, from what you're saying, it kind of feels like if he's not a fist to Wardle, this might not actually work out, is what I'm kind of hearing. Because
even if he's a fish to water, but my biggest issue is that when UFC and MMA people come over, the crowd is this audience, as much as we say they are fickle, they can tell whether you're doing it for the love of the business.
Rachel?
For the love of they can tell if you're doing it for the love of the game, right?
Right.
And when Rousey started, it seemed like it was for the love of the game. And it just slowly nosedove ever since, right? So that's my point. What's his name? He just got released, the Olympic champion that they were pushing out for 3 years, and he never had a match.
Gable Stevenson.
Yeah, Gable Stevenson. So that's my point. If you're gonna do it for the love of the game, you can tell. And the only reason I can say that is because CM Punk is our poster boy for this, because he talked mad shit about WWE, and he came back, but they love him because why? He did it for the love of the game. Even though he made a lot of money, he put his work in for the love of the game. You see what I'm saying? So that's going to be the hardest part about this. And it's funny because he just fought a month ago, 2 months ago. He fought Paddy Pimblett, which is another guy, got knocked out round 3. He's been, I mean, yeah, 5 fights in the UFC, 6. So I would think his UFC contract's up. And for him to switch to WWE, he'll be able to do it. It's probably going to be probably not a better payday, but somewhat similar.
Well, like I said, I don't know who this guy is, and that's why, I throw it to you. He's obviously, when Ronda Rousey came in, it was a big whoop-de-doo, because Ronda Rousey was a big star. She was, she broke out from, UFC, where she was...
No, she didn't break out. She was the biggest star. I'll put it like this. Ronda Rousey joining the UFC during that time, before Rousey knocked her out, before Holly Holm knocked her out, it would have been similar to a female version of Mike Tyson joining WWE at that time.
Right.
Because that was how big of a name she was, and that's how dominant she was in the UFC. Key word, dominant UFC. Chandler has his set of domination. However, Bellator, which is a rival company to UFC, and he's known in the MMA world, and he's more known because of the fight with Conor was supposed to happen and it didn't go through. I'm not saying that it's not going to be possible. It's going to be difficult,
right,
for him to get himself over, and that's my biggest thing. If he does it, do it, try it out, see how it goes. But man, you better go in there for the love of the game, because I would say this: we fickle ass fans, but we can tell bullshitters walking through the door when we see it. I will say that.
Oh yeah.
Wrestling fans are the biggest bullshit detectors in this in this motherfucker. They can tell if you here for the money or you just here because you love her.
It'll be interesting to see if he does actually pull the trigger and how that transition will be. Obviously he's not going to make money off of his name if, he wasn't, as mainstream as, other UFC names that made the transition. So, that could actually play to his advantage to some degree, but I think it's definitely, a wait and see process. It's all speculation.
Yeah, wait and see.
Point.
Definitely wait and see. I mean, it'd be a huge name. I just don't. My thing is this: they released a lot of people, and they getting this guy.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't release those people because of the money side of things. They cut those people because they didn't necessarily see those people.
Oh, I think it's both.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I think it's both. It's both. Because, I mean, he's switching over from UFC to WWE. I mean, basically, think of it like you're getting hired in the same agency. You're just doing a transfer to the other side of the agency.
Right. I mean, you're not wrong.
Pretty much.
Somebody trying to come in to somebody that outright left. Eddie Thorp. We talked about him leaving WWE, and you and me were pretty shocked because, obviously he took a major win on Trip, right before he, dipped out. Apparently he asked for his release, instead of, getting released. He, and I quote, said, so he could do something fucking meaningful with his life. apparently he didn't feel WWE was meaningful to his life anymore. So, honestly, I commend him for having that self-awareness that WWE wasn't, doing it for him anymore, and that he wanted to do something else. Um, so, I mean, and obviously, not taking somebody else's spot, kind of just, taking himself out of the equation and giving somebody else his spot. With being in NXT, there's not a shortage of people that would take that spot. So, good on Eddie for, wanting to leave, going to leave, taking the L. Well, I don't want to say L, but taking the release. What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, that is crazy, though. I mean, for him to take the leave, I mean, right when he hit, the biggest win of his career.
I mean, on one of the biggest stores.
I mean, if he feels that way, I mean, I can't tell him no. Maybe he saw something and there's a purpose. I've seen crazier things. I've seen football players retire literally at halftime. I'm just like, yeah, we go. So I mean, it is what it is. Oh, well, this is another one. So he said in the full quote, WWE wouldn't let me DJ for free in Vegas Mania weekend while other talent got to make money on their outside ventures. That is probably the biggest thing. Because if you're not going to be there, if you're going to be there, you got to make some bread. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I get that. I totally get that. But they're going to be like, well, he's John Cena and you're not. He's Seth Rollins and you're not. He's Roman Reigns and you're not. He's da-da-da and you're not. So I can see it. I mean.
But he did say, that wasn't the deciding factor, that he couldn't DJ.
It wasn't the deciding factor. I'm just looking at the whole quote.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the whole thing. It's not just, I'm looking at big picture. So I'm not saying that part is the factor. I will say it's a factor along with that factor. And it could be 51-49, one to do something meaningful.
But you gotta... But like we said, he had arguably his biggest win against the biggest star in NXT on a major NXT PLE. So, I mean, it wasn't that, they didn't have confidence in him or they wasn't going with him. I mean, obviously...
Yeah, it wasn't like he wasn't going anywhere. Right.
So, to have that, that push from the company to say, hey, we actually believe in you. And just to say, well, I don't want it. I'm done. That's a whole different thing.
It is.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what his next move is. A lot of the people that got released didn't necessarily break out, media-wise, so to speak. I mean, only Cora Jade, Elena Black has been, taking the world by storm, since her release from WWE.
I mean, but that's because of a whole nother reason.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons.
But, I mean, Gigi, but I would say this, Gigi got released, she's grinding. She's hitting them scenes.
She got hurt in her first match on the Indies.
Hey, man, she back on the grind, though. That's what I'm saying. For the love of the game.
But, I mean, how many interviews has Gigi done since she's been released? Who's asked her opinion? You know what I mean? Since Cora left, she's been on Ariel Helwani, Chris Van Vliet, and a couple of other podcasts as well. Like she's been doing the rounds. I mean,
who, Elena Black?
Yeah, I mean, she even did a meet and greet here in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago. So she's making that, she's banking, she's making that bread. And it's like Gigi / Priscilla Kelly, like, was she even really there to begin with?
What? Come on, bro. Don't do her like that. Come on, man. She was good. She's just doing it the way that she knows how.
But we could both agree that media-wise, she hasn't broken out quite as well as Elena.
But has she ever really been a media girl?
Well, I mean, you kind of have to be in order to make it. And I mean, case in point...
Not true! Cody wasn't a media dude. And when he did, he had to build it from the ground up.
I mean, when he dipped, yeah, but when he left WWE, that's all he did was media. He was on
bullshit.
He was, being proactive on the indies and whatnot.
That's my point. That's what Gigi's doing. I'm not saying she's gonna make a splash, but everybody got their own path, man. Elena is. No, never mind. Usually, when you go that route, you ain't planning on wrestling.
Well, I mean,
look at Mandy Rose. Look at Mandy Rose. Lacey Evans. Have they touched a mat since?
And now joining the party is a one Tegan Knox. She has launched an OnlyFans.
Jesus, everybody's just flooding the market. But you know what? Wrestling fans will buy that bitch. I ain't even going. They will buy that shit.
We definitely need numbers on this thing because Tegan has been drowning since she left WWE. She even admitted that she has not had a lot of bookings since she got released from WWE. She made a video on Instagram trying to make a comeback, saying, oh, she's known as the girl that gets hurt, but she's not. She's healthy. She wants to kick people in the head. She's ready to wrestle again.
Right.
I don't know if you saw that video, but, if she showed, even a bit of that file when she was actually in WWE, she might still actually be in WWE.
But it's interesting with her because it was never her. To me, it was never her. Her body just, I don't know what it is. Because to tear your ACL, come back, and then tear the other one? That's just bad luck of the draw.
It wasn't...
And I get why people...
It wasn't the injury that drew her off. Because they were pretty built behind her and positive with her. It was Rhea Bloody Ripley that drew her off. Because Rhea Ripley took a picture for Halloween and she was on crutches. And she said, for Halloween, I'm going as Tegan Knox.
No, that...
And ever since...
I remember that, but that ain't...
It completely destroyed any goodwill or mystique when it came to Tegan. After that, she was done, and people kind of knew it. She never came back from that. She never, if she would have came back and with a crutch and tried to shove it up Rhea's ass and says, let's see who's injured now, I'm going to injure you, that would have that would have given her the good graces back. But there was never.
You saying that she had came back with some gumption?
Right. But there was never any gumption. There was never any fire in her. She never broke out of just being a generic female wrestler.
I guess I always say the body got her out. I think 90% of it was in her head, personally.
Well, this is him. She had to close her OnlyFans because she once again hurt her leg.
That's fucked. Bro.
I don't know what she's doing on that OnlyFans, but apparently it was too vigorous for her legs to stand on.
That's fucked up. That is, man.
I know I'm terrible.
Going to hell. That's what you're doing. Going to hell.
If we're going to hell for something, it's for all violence of the Vatican booking.
That too, but I mean, but damn. But damn, man. Get well, Nixon. I got faith in you.
She's not really injured. I'm making a joke.
I'm rooting for her soul right now, sir. It's bigger than just. It's bigger than that. It's about her soul. I'm rooting for her soul.
Well,
see.
Speaking of Rings of Hell, TNA Wrestling. Cedric Alexander has made his debut for TNA. I'm assuming he signed a contract. And now, going to be a part of TNA Wrestling. I'm happy for him that he kind of landed on his feet. Obviously there is still a connection from TNA to WWE, and, there could be a pathway for him to return to WWE, viva, TNA. People were kind of surprised that, he didn't go to AEW because obviously he was a part of the Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate? Yeah, it's the Hurt Syndicate now.
Hurt Syndicate now.
Yeah, people were low-key surprised, and I was kind of surprised too, until I realized he's married to Big Swole, and Big Swole had a very big and public falling out with AEW, not but 5 years ago, maybe less than 5 years ago. So I can definitely understand where he wouldn't want to be employed by the people that, kind of shit on his wife. So, if you see it from that perspective, then you kind of understand why he chose the path that he did. What say you?
Man, at this point, you go where the bread is. He's going where the money is. Let that man go where the money is.
Even if that...
And plus that's where his brothers are. I think that's an easier time. He's going to have a better time. And just because his wife had a bad experience with AEW doesn't mean that he'll have a bad experience with AEW. Like, same way Britt Baker... Well, never mind. They're broken up. But... I mean, Keith Lee had a bad relationship with WWE. That doesn't mean Mia Yim is having it.
But it's not a matter of having a bad experience yourself. It's kind of a matter of kind of standing with your woman, your wife.
You don't have to stand with her on everything.
Well, I mean, if her boss outright fired her and publicly slammed her and said that she wasn't a good wrestler and he didn't want her in his company anymore, then I would take that kind of personally, no?
Obviously he didn't take it that personally, so why should I take it personally on behalf of him?
Couldn't take it personally.
Cedric.
I mean, obviously he did. If he didn't sign with AEW, he signed with TNA.
I mean, hey, sign with TNA. Stand by your man. I mean, but then again, if he's with TNA, he's basically pseudo WWE.
Right.
So him and Trick gonna get back together.
Trick is in AEW.
Trick Williams?
Trick Williams. Oh, yeah. No, I thought you said Swerve. I thought you meant Swerve.
No, I'm talking about Trick. You said Cedric's in TNA, so that means him and so basically WWE light, because basically they're just gonna flip flop him over anyway.
Right. But I mean, good for him though. If he actually,
so him and JVI gonna go at it. Him and Trick is gonna look like he never left.
Right. Keeping up on TNA news, Deonna Purrazzo, made a comment. She did an interview, and she is still, for people who are not aware, she is still very much employed by AEW. And then she made the claim that TNA, hands down, has the best locker room, in the business. So somebody's looking to get fired.
I mean, hey, opinion's opinion.
I mean, you don't say that another company has the best locker room when you're in another locker room.
I mean, you can acknowledge good things about the other competition. It's not that bad. You just don't do it at the expense of shitting on everyone else. Now, if she had said, "Oh, they got the best locker room because this one's trash," and that, then you can have your point. Just be like, "Hey, I was there. They had the best locker room. I thought it was cool."
But I mean, you're kind of saying that without actually saying it, no? If you're saying it's hands down the best locker room, then that means that there's things to be desired in the locker room that you're currently in, no?
Well, that could be true. It's true. But it's up to her to explain. She got some explaining to do.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not a Deonna Purrazzo fan. I've always been a fan of hers. I don't think that I've seen her wrestle on AEW TV since she had the Toni Storm rivalry. So, if she makes a return to TNA, maybe an NXT stint, I'm not going to be upset about that. I mean, she's going to be used more than she actually is right now with what they're giving her. So, and maybe she senses that too. Who knows?
Maybe. You never know, man. Hey, people are trying to get. Hey, loyalty is not a thing anymore, man. Go learn. We gonna learn today. Even as my voice going down, we gonna learn.
Well, keeping up on AEW, last week I think we covered it. The Grand Slam Mexico. after the show, Daniel Bryan actually made um, a return. Actually, no, this last Wednesday they were in Washington, I should say. And Daniel Bryan came out and accepted a um, open invitation from Max Caster. Adam Cole was in the ring with the rest of what are they called? Not United Empire. The
Undisputed Kingdom or some shit.
Undisputed Era, yeah. Undisputed Era Light.
Yes.
Before the bell rang, Adam Cole hit Max Caster with a super kick, and then Daniel Bryan put Caster in the label lock. Caster chopped immediately, so Daniel Bryan won the match. It was very much a celebrated moment. He did the yes chants, which he hasn't done in a while. He came out in street clothes. That's worth noting. He wasn't in gear. He was in jeans and a t-shirt, sporting that like low-key Mick Foley lumberjack look that he does. But it has fueled a speculation that he is coming back or making some type of return sooner rather than later. He has not wrestled since October or November of last year, so it's been a hot minute. What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, damn, I'm back. I thought he was done. And is this a pop? Is this him thinking he can feel good? Is he the no touch rule? I don't get it. I'm just,
Well,
just to make Max look like shit.
Which isn't hard to do. But
wow.
No, I think it's he said that he was going to be retiring from full time. He never said that he wasn't going to do matches time to time, a part-time schedule.
That is true.
And I mean, it's pro wrestling. Like, who actually stays retired in pro wrestling? You know what I mean?
Shawn Michaels.
The Saudi show a couple of years ago.
That was a one-off. Taker didn't stay retired. That son of a bitch. Triple H stayed retired.
I mean, he didn't actually have a retirement match.
That's my point. But that motherfucker can't come. He can't come back. Shit.
Yeah.
Who actually retires and stay? I think John Cena would stay retired. Once he retires.
I think if the truck's big enough, he'll do a match after.
No, I think he's done. Hollywood called his name.
I think this is just a one-off for the fans in Washington. Obviously he's from there. Just to kind of have fun. Obviously he didn't do anything uberly physical. He just put, Matt Caster in, the label lock. It's not necessarily, taking a bump or anything.
Pretty much.
I think it's going to be a little bit longer until we see Daniel Bryan, properly wrestle again. This was just to pop the crowd. Just my opinion, though.
I mean, yeah, just to, wake up a dead crowd in Aberdeen, Washington. Not too far from Aberdeen, Washington.
From a dead crowd to no crowd at all. They released tickets for Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff's new promotion, Real American Freestyle. It's only sold roughly 400 tickets, and it's a 13,000 seat arena, and it's 2 months away. So it is, for one reason or another, it is not looking good for Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff.
Well, no, duh. Who would have thunk? I mean, I stick to the beer, pal.
Yeah, more or less.
Just stick with the beer. Don't even deal with wrestling. I mean, appearances and beer, bro. That's it. Because as far as a lot of people are concerned, he chose. I mean, they already had a thought about him, and he either confirmed it, confirmed their intuitions, which is either good or bad. So half of this nation is against you, my brother. Might as well go ahead and chop that up. Bischoff, I wouldn't be associated.
Yeah. On a good bit of news, JR has announced that he is cancer free. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So very good news for good old Jim Ross. Happy to hear it. Good on him.
Good news, JR. Bad news is Georgia gonna whoop y'all ass in the SEC. Sorry, I had to say that. I mean, I'm sorry. It's just, sorry.
As long as good old Jim Ross is there to see it, I don't think anybody's mad.
Yeah, no one's gonna be mad. Yeah, you're right. Don't be too bad. But yeah, but you play Georgia, we gonna whoop that ass. Just go ahead and get ready to get that ass beat. But I mean, that's just me. That's a little football. See, it's summer. That means football coming right around the corner, baby.
And also right around the corner is a one Ric Flair. I don't know how true this is or if this is what the legitimacy of this is, but it definitely would not surprise me if this is actually real or not. Somebody posted on Reddit that Ric Flair has been coming into restaurants in the Tampa area, and while he's in the restaurants, is shitting himself while he is, I guess, eating, and more accurately, drinking. This is such a bizarre thing to happen, but I mean, like I said, it doesn't necessarily surprise me. He is on the older side. Bowels not working like they should be. Woo.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe Ric Flair is shitting himself?
Because somebody would have had that on film. Because in this society where we record any and everything and post it on World Star, you wouldn't think that would be the one thing motherfuckers would be recording to get this money.
I mean, yes and no. If they know that he's going to be someplace, or, if they know who he is. Like, not everybody knows who Ric Flair is.
Really?
Kind of.
Stop it, son.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Motherfucker, if you don't know, Ric Flair looks like he's the motherfucker will let you know who the fuck he is.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, I don't believe it. He will go out of his way to tell you, you know who the fuck I am.
Bitch, I'm Ric Flair. Woo!
Exactly. So you think, I mean, that's the only reason I would say. Yeah, like Karrion Kross. Although he got mobbed in Saudi Arabia, got the hero's welcome.
Yeah, apparently he doesn't take back bumps though.
Oh gosh, back bumps. I mean, whatever that means. Honestly, I'm happy for him because he just rebounded from that Adam Cole. Thank God he rebounded from that.
You know, I'm not sure if he rebounded quite yet. But you know, Dirty Dom and AJ Styles' misfortune is definitely his comeuppance. It's his first PL lead.
Oh no, he's gonna beat Sami Zayn. I'm just letting you know that he's gonna put a foot in that ass.
I mean, he should beat Sami Zayn.
That's my point. So that's the beginning. Sami Zayn is the beginning.
Well, let's hope so. But until then, who
and
knows?
Plus, I mean, the pops he's getting. I mean, come on, it's coming. Even he's like recognizing that the people are like that the company's like, yeah, they hear you. And I will say this, he's humble with it because he's like, thanks to y'all, and I'm gonna show my ass off. So I give him that much. He's very appreciative of it.
Right. And he's acknowledging it because WWE is not acknowledging it. People want Karrion Kross, and he hasn't had a match since the night before WrestleMania Night 1. He was in the Battle Royal. So
he's been on like main events and stuff, but that doesn't count. I get what you're.
That's wrestling purgatory, Kaliko. Like that's worse than Ring of Honor at this point, being on main event.
So, really? Because, I mean, if you're on that or Speed, so Sol Ruka's the Speed champion, is that purgatory?
But Speed is viewed, I would say, is more viewed than main event.
What? We looking this up.
It's a 3-minute video on Twitter. Where do you find main event? Where is that?
Main event viewership. But that's Saturday night main event. Oh, that's right. There's no main event. Now it's Saturday night's main event. Never mind. They took that main event and now it's Saturday night main event. Nevertheless.
Now it's Tuesday night purgatory.
Oh, Lord. Lord help us.
Well, hopefully, Cross will, maybe this will be the thing that the catalyst really, move him forward.
I think so. I mean, nowhere to go but up.
Yeah. Alright. I think that will conclude our coverage of the news. Was there anything you'd like to bring to the table?
I mean, well, you know what? Shout out to Busted Open. In case people, 16 years they have officially have their own channel on SiriusXM. 24 dedicated 24/7 channel of nothing but wrestling. Hopefully, let's send some demos, see if they'll put us on for 24/7.
Well, that will conclude our coverage of the news.
Hey, how you gonna skip that over? Like, try to plug us in, and this is just go. Like fucking in the news. Like,
I mean, it's good for them that they, 16 years. Definitely, I didn't know that they stayed for 16 years. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I was an avid caller in that show.
A what?
I used to call in that show daily, bro.
Really?
That's where my wrestling takes popped in, homie. I was Kaliko and Cali.
Kaliko and Cali? Huh.
Yeah. This was like when they used to do the the daily shows, and it was in the afternoons. Once they got the mornings, I'm like, bro, I am not getting up at. I'm just getting ready for work, and y'all want me to, boy. That 1 to 4 was clutch, but I like the 1 to 4 better. But I get it. But anyways, congrats to Lil Greca for his show. See, that's good news. Ending it on a good note.
There you go. Yeah, that will conclude our coverage of the news in this episode as a whole. Catch us next Saturday as we do a review of Night of Champions. I think we'll be doing a preview of all the wrestling that's going to be happening next week, the week after, because a lot of shit's going to be dropping. Revolution, Saturday Night's Main Event, All In in Texas, etc., etc. Appreciate your 1 hour episodes of Wrestling With, because next week will not be that.
Marathon.
Yes. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday and Wednesday as we interview Nano Lopez on Tuesday and Ken Cypher on Wednesday. And join us every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on Extra and on Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesShay993. Where can we find Kaliko?
Ooh, I am Kaliko. Chronicles continue. Actually, James, ain't we going to AEW 300?
I'm thinking so, yeah.
I mean, I'm going. Now, if you ain't going, that's a whole different issue. So, we got some shows lined up. I'm actually looking at tickets now. Knox Pro. I'm on the way. Pomona. Derby.
Yeah, isn't Johnny Fatu going to be on that card?
Yeah, I mean, what Fatu is not on that card? So I'm just.
Very true.
I swear to God, that's just like a family mafia wrestling. It's just basically to get them over. But anyways, but yes, Knox Pro, I got that one on the radar. Knox Pro, Pomona on the radar, and Lucha Boom on the radar, on top of it, AEW 300. Although I would love to go to FanFest, but I'm going to that shit show known as Jake Paul's fight. Because if Julio Cesar Chavez loses, he better not go home.
Maybe we'll get our first Kaliko Chronicles that doesn't actually have to do with pro wrestling. If you decide to, make your presence known at that fight.
I mean, I might as well. Why not? I mean, Jake Paul, Logan's there. I mean, as long as my kid's not trying to yell, Logan, you good? Logan, you good? Logan might be there with crutches, but hey.
Yeah, first non-pro wrestling event on Kaliko Chronicles. We still need to get WrestleMania Kaliko Chronicles up and.
Oh shit, we gotta get WrestleMania, Money in the Bank. I got a lot to send you. Mania, Money in the Bank. Yeah, and then Logan Paul.
The Triple show, Worlds Collide.
Worlds Collide. Oh shit. I mean, there's only one thing people want to see from that show. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's just keep it a buck. There's only one thing we want to see from that show. And then yeah, got a lot. I gotta get on it.
Yeah.
Do one big compilation video.
I don't know about that, but we'll definitely be seeing a lot of Kaliko's Chronicles in the coming of months.
Oh yes.
Alright, for Coleco Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Yeah. See, good thing we're having this voice jacked up. Good thing we're having this voice jacked up. I can sound like Booker T. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.